Father in heaven, there are moments when my heart grows tired of waiting. I look around and everything feels uncertain. The doors that once looked open are now closed. The prayers I've lifted seem to vanish into silence. Yet, even in that silence, I know you are near. You are not ignoring me. You are guiding me in ways I cannot yet understand. You whisper gently through your word. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. These words remind me that my confidence should never rest on the speed of your answers, but on the certainty of your presence. Lord, you see the whole picture, while I only see fragments. When I try to rush ahead or force things to happen, you lovingly hold me back because you know what lies beyond each decision. You know the roads that lead to peace and those that end in pain. You know the weight my heart can bear and the lessons I need to learn before the promise arrives. Like a shepherd who leads his sheep through valleys before reaching the mountain, you guide me with purpose, not punishment. The waiting is not wasted. It's where you shape my faith, refine my patience, and teach me to rely completely on you. Sometimes I wish you would show me the plan all at once, the full map, every turn, every answer. But then I realize, if I saw it all, I might not need faith, and faith is what keeps me close to you. So I choose to trust you, even when the path is unclear. I believe what you said in Isaiah 30:21. Whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it." That verse brings peace to my restless soul. It tells me that I am never walking alone, even when the road feels quiet and long. God, help me to wait with hope and not despair. Help me to see delays as divine preparation, not denial. You are not withholding good things from me. You are arranging them perfectly for the right moment. Like the sunrise that cannot be rushed but always arrives on time, your blessings will come when my heart is ready to receive them. In those moments when doubt tries to rise, remind me of all the times you've already been faithful, the doors you've opened, the prayers you've answered, the peace you've given in storms I thought I wouldn't survive. I rest in the truth that you are my guide. Not luck, not circumstance, not my own strength, but you. You are the one who knows the beginning and the end. You lead me gently, even when I don't realize it. Every delay is mercy, every redirection is grace, and every silence is filled with your quiet work behind the curtain of time. So today, Lord, I will not give up. I will not complain about what I don't see. Instead, I will keep walking in trust, one step at a time, believing that the answers will come exactly when they should. Your word says in Psalm 32:8, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." Thank you for watching over me with such care. Thank you for guiding me, even through uncertainty. I may not understand the timing, but I will keep my heart open to your direction. And as I pray this morning, I want to pause and thank you for being patient with me, for loving me through my impatience, for teaching me through every moment of silence, and for shaping me into someone who trusts you more deeply than before. Because even when the answers have not yet arrived, I know you are the answer my heart truly needs. Where are you joining this prayer from, and what time of day are you listening? I'd love to know how God is guiding you today. Your words might bless someone else who is still waiting for their own answers. Father, as I continue to walk in faith, I realize how often I want to understand everything before I take the next step. I want clarity, certainty, and assurance. Yet, you remind me that faith is walking even when I can't see the whole road ahead. For we live by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. These words echo deeply in my heart. You are calling me to trust that you are already where I am going, preparing the way long before I arrive. Sometimes, Lord, I look back at my life and see moments when I thought I was lost. But now I understand that I was never lost, only being led through a lesson. Every delay taught me to listen. Every closed door redirected me to something better. Every disappointment became a seed of wisdom that you planted for my future. Even the prayers that seemed unanswered were often your protection in disguise. What I saw as silence was really you saying, "Wait, I have something greater." You are the God who guided Joseph through betrayal, through the pit, through the prison. only to place him in a palace at the right time. You never forgot him, even when everyone else did. And that gives me hope, because it reminds me that my story is not over just because I can't see the ending yet. You are still writing, still arranging, still redeeming what I thought was wasted. When I wake up to uncertainty, Lord, let me not panic. Let me remember that my steps are ordered by you. Psalm 37:23 says, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in him." If you are the one who establishes my path, then I can rest knowing that every step, even the hesitant ones, are part of your perfect design. You see the corners I can't turn, the doors I can't open, and the timing I can't control. God, teach me to follow you in peace. Let my heart quiet down enough to recognize your guidance in the small things, in the whisper of comfort, in the word of a friend, in the stillness of prayer. Help me notice the ways you speak, even when I'm expecting thunder and you come instead in a gentle breeze. Like Elijah on the mountain, I don't want to miss your voice because I was too focused on the storm. Sometimes I struggle, Lord, because I want the plan to be clear, but you know that if I saw everything at once, I might rely on the plan instead of on you. So you reveal it little by little, step by step, teaching me to depend on your Spirit every single day. You guide me like you guided Israel through the wilderness, not with a map, but with a cloud by day and fire by night. You gave them just enough light to take the next step, and that was enough. So let that be my prayer today. Give me enough light to walk today's path, and I will trust you with tomorrow's. Help me to remember that my peace doesn't depend on knowing what's next, but on knowing that you are already there. I don't need to rush ahead. I only need to remain in your will. You are shaping me through this season of trust, even when I don't realize it. And when my heart starts to worry, remind me of your promise in Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. So today, I release my need for control. I lay down my questions and lift up my faith, because I know that in your time, every unanswered prayer will make sense, every tear will find purpose, and every waiting season will reveal the beauty of your timing. Lord, sometimes the hardest part of faith isn't believing in you. It's believing that you are still working when everything is quiet. Silence has a weight, and it can feel like you've stepped away. But deep down, I know you never have. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14:14. Those words calm the noise inside my heart. Even when I can't hear you, you are near. Even when I can't see movement, you are arranging what's unseen. In the stillness, you are refining my heart. You're teaching me that silence doesn't mean absence. It means you're doing something sacred within me. You're building strength in the spaces where fear once lived. You're preparing my character to hold the blessings I've been praying for. You're aligning pieces I didn't even know needed alignment. But Father, I confess that silence can be confusing. It tempts me to question whether my prayers matter. Sometimes I wonder if I missed something, if I failed to do enough, pray enough, or believe enough. Yet you remind me that your grace doesn't depend on my performance. You are not measuring how loud my prayers are, but how much I trust you when there's no sound at all. When I think about your silence, I remember Jesus on the cross. He cried out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Matthew 27:46. Even the Son felt that silence, yet in that silence, you were accomplishing the greatest miracle the world has ever known. Salvation was being written in the quiet. That truth comforts me, Lord, because it shows that even when I feel forsaken, you are still working redemption. Teach me to rest in that kind of trust, a faith that doesn't need noise to know you're moving. Let me be still in spirit, even when the world around me feels restless. Let me wait with hope instead of worry. Let me turn my silence into sacred space where I listen for your gentle whisper. When I start to fear that you've forgotten me, remind me of Psalm 13:5-6. But I trust in your unfailing love. My heart rejoices in your salvation. I will sing the Lord's praise, for he has been good to me. David once felt abandoned, but he chose to sing anyway. Help me to do the same, to praise you before the answer comes, to worship you before I see the breakthrough, to believe that every silent moment is still full of your presence. When the waiting feels long and the quiet feels heavy, let me remember that silence is also a language, one that says, "Be patient, I'm preparing something greater." Let me not fill the silence with worry, but with worship. Let my faith speak louder than my doubts. You are still the God who parts seas, opens doors, and heals hearts, and you don't need to make noise to prove it. Your power doesn't depend on my perception. Your promises don't expire because of time. You are eternal, steady, and faithful. And even when the only sound I hear is my own heartbeat, I will trust that you are listening. If someone else reading this feels like you've gone quiet in their life, touch their heart right now. Remind them that silence is often the space between the promise and the miracle. You have not forgotten them. You are forming them. Have you ever walked through a season where God's silence turned out to be His preparation for something greater? Let me know in the comments. Your story may bring peace to someone who's waiting in that same quiet right now. Father, as I journey through the seasons of waiting, I am learning that trust is not just believing you will act. It is resting in the truth that you already are. Waiting is not a pause in your plan. It is part of the plan. Every delay, every detour, every not yet is filled with purpose. You remind me in Ecclesiastes 3:11 that He has made everything beautiful in its time. Not my time, not the world's time, your time. And that truth alone begins to calm my racing heart. You see how easily I grow impatient. When things don't unfold the way I hoped, I question whether I prayed enough or heard you correctly. But your Spirit whispers to my heart, "Be still, I'm working." It's in those quiet reassurances that my faith grows roots. Like a seed buried deep underground, I can't see what's happening. But that doesn't mean growth isn't taking place. Something sacred is forming beneath the surface. And when the right moment comes, it will break through the soil of my waiting. God, I don't want to live in frustration over the things I can't control. Teach me to see time not as an enemy, but as a servant of your will. You are never late, and you never rush. You know the perfect moment for every promise to bloom. You know when I am ready to hold the blessings I've been asking for. You know the lessons I need before I reach the next chapter. So help me surrender not only my plans, but also my timing to you. I remember the story of Sarah and Abraham, how long they waited for the promise to be fulfilled. They doubted, they tried to take matters into their own hands, and yet you still kept your word. You didn't abandon them because of their impatience. You completed what you had promised, because your faithfulness never depends on human perfection. That gives me hope, Lord, because even when I falter, you remain steady. Even when I lose sight of your timing, you never lose sight of me. Lord, I admit that waiting can feel lonely. The world moves fast. Everyone seems to be arriving somewhere, accomplishing something, and sometimes I feel left behind. But then I remember what Isaiah 40:31 declares. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Waiting on you is not standing still. It's being renewed. It's being prepared to soar higher than before. So while I wait, I will worship. I will use this time not to question, but to grow closer to you. Let my prayers become deeper, my gratitude more sincere, and my peace unshakable. Help me to rest in your rhythm, knowing that your plan is unfolding exactly as it should. If you've asked me to wait, it's because you're preparing something that requires time, something that will be worth every moment of patience. When the days feel long and my faith feels thin, remind me that delay does not mean denial. Remind me that you are the author of time itself, and every second is in your hands. Help me breathe deeply and trust again, knowing that what you start, you finish. You are never early, never late, always perfect. And if someone listening today feels like time has passed them by, I pray that you renew their hope right now. Let them feel your presence in the waiting. Let them know that they are not forgotten. They are being prepared. Father, there are moments when I look at what's happening in my life and I just don't understand. The unanswered prayers, the sudden changes, the unexpected disappointments. They leave me wondering, why, Lord? But even in that question, you invite me closer. You don't reject my confusion, you meet me in it. You remind me through Isaiah 55:8-9 that my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And when I hear that truth, my heart begins to breathe again. You see what I cannot. You see how every event, every delay, every tear threads together into something eternal. From my human perspective, life looks like broken fragments, but in your hands, they form a masterpiece. You are never careless with the details of my story. You take what looks like loss and turn it into growth, what feels like chaos and turn it into clarity. I may not understand the why, but I can trust the who. You are the one who never wastes pain, never misuses time, never forgets a single prayer whispered in faith. Lord, I admit it's hard not to question your plan when I feel the weight of disappointment. There are times when I ask, if you love me, why is this happening? But then I remember the story of Job, how even in the middle of unimaginable suffering, he held on to this truth. I know that my Redeemer lives. Job 19:25. He couldn't see the reason, but he still trusted the relationship. And that's what I want, a faith that holds firm, even when understanding fails. Help me, God, not to confuse silence with neglect. You haven't turned away. You're working through the hidden layers of my circumstances. Every unanswered question is an invitation to go deeper into your heart, to know you, not just what you can do. I'm learning that sometimes the answer isn't a solution, but a revelation of who you are. When life doesn't make sense, let me remember how Jesus faced the cross. He didn't deserve the pain, but he endured it with purpose. From the outside, it looked like defeat, but it was victory in disguise. The resurrection teaches me that sometimes your greatest works are hidden behind seasons that seem hopeless. If you brought life from death, you can bring beauty from my confusion too. When my heart feels weary, let your word be my anchor. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8:28. That promise doesn't mean every moment will be easy, but it means every moment will be meaningful. You will use it all, even the pain I wish I could erase, to shape me into someone stronger, wiser, and more dependent on you. So I surrender the need to have all the answers. I choose peace over panic, faith over fear, and trust over understanding. You are not asking me to figure everything out. You're asking me to walk with you while you work it out. I don't know what tomorrow holds, but I know who holds tomorrow, and that is enough. And if someone reading this is in a season of questions, Lord, wrap them in your comfort. Remind them that it's okay not to know everything. It's okay to simply rest in you. Sometimes faith isn't about knowing the reason, it's about knowing the Redeemer. Lord, there are seasons when the days blend together, when it feels like nothing is shifting, nothing is improving, and I start to wonder if you've forgotten the promises you spoke over my life. But deep down, I know you haven't. You are still working in the unseen, still shaping what I cannot yet see. The one who calls you is faithful, and he will do it. 1 Thessalonians 5:24. That truth steadies me. You haven't brought me this far to leave me now. Waiting is hard because it tests the very foundation of trust. It asks me to believe without evidence, to hold on when everything inside me wants to let go. Yet hope, real hope, isn't built in the moments of quick answers. It grows in the long nights of prayer, in the quiet spaces of surrender, in the moments when I keep showing up even when I feel nothing. Hope is not pretending everything is fine. It's believing that you are still good even when it's not. Father, when nothing seems to change, remind me of all the ways you've been faithful before. Remind me of the prayers you've already answered, the storms you've already calmed, the strength you've already given when I thought I couldn't go on. Because you haven't changed. You are the same yesterday, today, and forever. Hebrews 13:8. If you were faithful then, you will be faithful again. Sometimes, Lord, I think about the Israelites wandering in the desert. For 40 years, they woke up to the same landscape, sand, heat, and waiting. Yet every single morning, you sent manna from heaven. You never failed to provide. Even when they didn't see progress, you were sustaining them. You were teaching them that your presence was more important than their destination. Help me to live with that same faith, to see your provision even when I don't yet see the promise. When my patience begins to wear thin, teach me to rest instead of resist. When my prayers feel repetitive, remind me that you never tire of hearing my voice. When doubt whispers that nothing will ever change, silence it with your word. Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. Galatians 6:9. That verse fills me with quiet strength. You're telling me that perseverance is not wasted. It's preparing the harvest that's already on the way. Give me eyes to see small signs of your hand in my daily life. A moment of peace in chaos, an unexpected kindness, a word that reminds me you're near. Let those glimpses become anchors for my hope. Remind me that just because the fruit hasn't appeared doesn't mean the roots aren't growing deeper. Growth often happens underground before it ever shows above the surface. Even when I feel weary, I want to keep showing up in faith. I want to wake up each morning and say, God, I trust you again today. I may not see the outcome, but I will choose to believe that you are already in tomorrow, preparing what I can't yet imagine. For those who feel like their prayers are echoing into emptiness, lift their spirits today. Let them sense that you are closer than their breath, holding them through every silent season. Your love hasn't faded. It's as strong as ever. You're not done writing their story. You're just preparing the next chapter. What keeps your hope alive when nothing seems to change? Share your thoughts below. Your faith might reignite someone else's light today. There are times when the path ahead feels so uncertain that I don't know where to turn. I pray, I listen, I wait, but sometimes the noise of my thoughts drowns out the whisper of your voice. In those moments, confusion feels heavy, and I find myself asking, Lord, what do you want me to do? Yet your word gently reminds me in Psalm 32:8, I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. You are not a silent God. You are a guiding one. Even when I can't hear you clearly, you are still leading me. God, you know how much I long for direction. I want to make the right choices, follow the right opportunities, and avoid mistakes that could take me off course. But you keep teaching me that guidance doesn't always come as a map. Sometimes it comes as peace. When I quiet my heart long enough to listen, I begin to sense that your spirit is not rushing me, but inviting me to rest. You show me that confusion fades not because everything becomes clear, but because I learn to trust you even in the fog. In the book of Exodus, you guided your people with a pillar of cloud by day and fire by night. They didn't have control over when it moved or where it stopped. They simply followed. And every time they trusted that movement, they stayed in the center of your will. Help me to live with that same obedience, Lord. When you say wait, let me stay still. When you say move, let me follow without fear. Teach me to see your leading not as restriction, but as protection. Sometimes I mistake delay for denial, but you remind me that hesitation in my spirit often means you are rerouting me to something safer, better, or more fruitful. You are never trying to confuse me. You are trying to prepare me. If you've closed one door, it's because the next one opens to a future more aligned with your purpose for my life. Your direction always comes from love, never frustration. Help me remember that your will is not a puzzle I have to solve. It's a relationship I have to trust. The closer I stay to you, the clearer the path becomes. If I seek your presence more than your plan, I will never miss my way. Because when my heart is aligned with yours, even my missteps can lead me closer to destiny. When fear tries to cloud my judgment, remind me of James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. You never shame me for not knowing what to do. You welcome me to ask, to seek, to depend on you, and every time I do, you respond. Maybe not in my timing or in the way I expect, but always with love and purpose. There have been times when I looked back and realized that the confusion I once hated was actually a blessing. You were protecting me from paths that would have harmed me, from choices that looked right but weren't meant for me. You were guiding me even when I didn't realize it, and that truth brings peace to my heart, because it means I don't have to figure everything out. I just have to stay close to you. Guide my thoughts today. Let your peace be the compass that points my soul in the right direction. When I feel unsure, remind me that you are not a God of chaos, but of clarity, and your light always shines brightest when I slow down to follow it. Lord, there are mornings when I wake up and feel the weight of everything pressing down at once. Responsibilities, worries, unanswered prayers, and expectations I can't seem to meet. My soul feels weary before the day even begins. Yet, in that heaviness, you call me to lift my eyes once more. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Matthew 11:28. You don't ask me to carry it alone. You never meant for me to. Sometimes I think I have to be strong all the time, to prove my faith, to show that I'm okay, to keep everything together. But you remind me that strength doesn't come from pretending. It comes from surrendering. It's not in pushing through on my own, but in leaning fully on you. You never said the journey would be easy, only that you would walk it with me. And that truth changes everything. You see when my heart feels tired, when my hope flickers like a candle fighting against the wind. You see when I feel unseen and unheard. But even then, you whisper, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. It's in my weakest moments that your strength shines brightest. When I finally stop trying to control everything, I make space for you to work. Give me the strength not just to endure, but to endure with peace. Let me face the day not through exhaustion, but through the quiet assurance that I am not alone. Remind me that every breath I take is evidence of your sustaining power. When I'm too weak to pray, let my tears speak for me, because you understand every word they're trying to say. Help me to release the idea that I must have it all figured out. Instead, help me rest in the truth that you already do. You know the solution before I even name the problem. You know the outcome long before I begin to worry about it. You are the calm in my chaos, the anchor when everything feels like it's drifting away. In those moments when fatigue takes over, let me find renewal in your presence. Let me remember how Elijah, worn out and ready to give up, found his strength again not in striving but in your gentle care, through food, rest, and your quiet voice reminding him that his story wasn't over. 1 Kings 19:5-8. In the same way, teach me to pause, breathe, and receive your peace again. I pray for the one listening right now who feels like they're running out of strength. Wrap them in your love. Lift the weight that's pressing on their chest. Replace their anxiety with your stillness, their fear with your faithfulness, and their weariness with your presence. Let them feel your arms holding them steady, reminding them that they don't have to be strong every day. They just have to be yours. Even when the days feel long and the answers slow, help me to remember that you are my portion and my peace. You're not asking me to sprint through this season. You're asking me to walk with you one step at a time. And as I walk, you promise to renew my strength, to restore my joy, and to remind me that even on my hardest days, I am deeply loved. So today, I lay down the burden I was never meant to carry. I give you the heaviness, the worry, the exhaustion, and I receive your peace in exchange. You are enough for me. You are my rest. Father, sometimes the hardest battles aren't the ones fought outside, but the ones waged inside my mind. Thoughts swirl like storms. What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm not strong enough? What if I heard you wrong? It's in those moments that fear tries to take over, whispering doubts into every corner of my faith. But you call me into a different rhythm, one of peace, not panic. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. John 14:27. Your peace isn't fragile, Lord. It doesn't depend on circumstances being calm. It's the kind of peace that stands tall even when the winds rage. It's the assurance that you are still in control, even when everything around me seems uncertain. You're not asking me to understand every detail. You're asking me to rest in the truth that you do. You know how much I crave stability, how I long for things to make sense, but you keep reminding me that real peace isn't found in predictability. It's found in presence. Your presence. The moment I shift my focus from the problem to you, the storm inside begins to quiet. You are my anchor, my steady ground, my calm in the chaos. Teach me to breathe deeply again, not just physically, but spiritually. Each breath a reminder that you are closer than my next thought. You're not somewhere far away, waiting for me to figure things out. You're right here, in the middle of the uncertainty, guiding me with a hand I cannot see but can always trust. When I start to panic about what's coming, remind me of Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. That peace doesn't erase the storm. It steadies me within it. It reminds me that no matter what happens next, I am safe in your hands. Father, I confess that sometimes I chase after peace in the wrong places. I think I'll find it when the problem is solved, when the future is secure, when the plan makes sense. But the truth is, peace doesn't come from knowing what's ahead. It comes from knowing you're already there. You go before me, stand beside me, and walk behind me. You surround me completely, so why should I fear? When I feel lost, I remember the moment Jesus stood in the boat with his disciples, and with a single command, "Peace, be still," the winds and waves obeyed. Mark 4:39. The same voice that calmed the sea is speaking into my soul today. That same authority still reigns, and your peace still conquers chaos. Help me not to let fear write my story. When the future looks uncertain, let my faith rise higher. When my plans fall apart, let me cling tighter to your promises. I want to walk through life with the quiet confidence that no matter what unfolds, I am anchored in you. And for the one reading this who feels like the storm will never end, remind them, Lord, that you are still in their boat. The waves may roar, but you have never left. Your peace isn't far. It's right where they are, waiting to settle every trembling heart. What has helped you find peace during seasons of uncertainty? Share your answer in the comments. Your experience could calm someone else's storm today. Lord, there are days when my faith feels fragile, like a small flame flickering against a strong wind. I want to believe with confidence, but fear sneaks in, whispering that maybe this time it won't work out. Maybe this prayer won't be answered. Maybe this waiting will never end. Yet you remind me through Matthew 17:20 that if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, "Move from here to there," and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. That verse humbles me, because it tells me that even small faith in a big God can do mighty things. You're not asking me to have perfect faith. You're asking me to have present faith. You can take even the smallest spark and turn it into something powerful. You see the quiet prayers I whisper when no one else is watching, the trembling amen at the end of a long night. You see it all, and you honor it. What matters to you isn't the size of my faith, but the direction of it. As long as it leans toward you, you can work through it. There are times, Lord, when I feel unworthy of miracles, when I tell myself that others have stronger faith, more patience, or more spiritual strength. But you remind me that faith isn't about comparison. It's about connection. It's about trusting the same God who fed thousands with a few loaves and fish, who healed the sick with a single word, who turned water into wine and sorrow into joy. You haven't changed. The same power that moved then still moves now. When my heart feels weak, let me remember how Peter walked on water. He began to sink not because the storm was stronger than you, but because he took his eyes off you. The waves didn't have the power to drown him. Fear did. And yet, when he cried out, "Lord, save me," you reached for him instantly. You didn't wait to see if he would try harder. You met him in his weakness. That's the kind of love that rescues me daily. Father, when I doubt, teach me not to hide it from you. You're not disappointed by my struggles. You use them to draw me closer. Like the man who cried out in Mark 9:24, "I do believe, help me overcome my unbelief." I bring you both my faith and my fear, because I know you can handle both. You can strengthen what's weak, heal what's broken, and reignite what's fading. There are days when I think my prayers are too small to matter, but you are the God who listens to every whisper. When I don't have the strength to pray long prayers, you hear the sighs that words can't express. When my faith feels fragile, you hold it steady. And when I think I'm running out of strength, you remind me that I was never meant to rely on mine, only yours. So, Lord, I choose to believe again today, even if it's only with mustard seed faith. I trust that you can do more with my weakness than I could ever do with my strength. I trust that you're working in ways beyond what I can see. I trust that mountains still move when faith and your power meet. And if someone listening today feels like their faith is barely holding on, let them know that you see them too. Let them feel your gentle hand reminding them that small faith still reaches a mighty God. It doesn't take perfection, it just takes surrender. Lord, sometimes the waiting feels endless. The prayers I keep lifting seem unanswered. The dreams you placed in my heart feel distant, and I start to wonder if I've misunderstood your promises. The journey gets heavy, and my spirit grows tired. But even here, you remind me that delay is not denial. You are not making me wait to punish me. You are preparing me for what you've already planned. The Lord is good to those who wait for him, to the soul who seeks him. Lamentations 3:25. These words help me breathe again. You see my weariness, Father. You know how many nights I've prayed for direction and how many mornings I've woken up still waiting for clarity. Sometimes it feels like I'm walking through a desert, dry, uncertain, and slow. But you are the same God who led Israel through their wilderness, not to abandon them, but to strengthen them. The wilderness wasn't the end. It was the place where they learned to depend fully on you. So if I'm walking through a desert season, let me find water in your presence. Let me remember that every waiting place is also a growing place. When my patience begins to crumble, remind me that what you are building in me takes time. Just like a tree doesn't bear fruit overnight, neither do your promises. Growth is quiet, unseen, and slow, but it is steady. Every root that grows deeper in faith will one day bear fruit in its season. You promised in Habakkuk 2:3, "For the vision is yet for the appointed time. It hastens toward the goal, and it will not fail. Though it delays, wait for it will certainly come, it will not delay." That promise tells me that what's coming is certain. It's just not yet visible. Lord, I confess that waiting often exposes my weakness. It brings out impatience, doubt, even frustration. But maybe that's exactly why you allow it, because waiting reveals what needs healing in my heart. You use the waiting room as a workshop, shaping me into someone who trusts you more deeply than before. You refine my motives, reorder my desires, and strengthen my endurance. And though it doesn't always feel like progress, every moment of patience is faith in motion. Help me to see waiting not as wasted time, but as preparation time. Let me use this season to draw closer to you, to deepen my prayer life, and to cultivate gratitude even before the breakthrough arrives. Remind me that you're not just working for me, you're working in me. And sometimes the transformation inside is more important than the outcome I'm praying for. When I grow tired of the road, be my strength. When my hope begins to fade, remind me of your promises. You are not a God who forgets. You are faithful through every season. You've never once abandoned what you started, and you won't begin now. If someone reading this feels like their waiting has gone on too long, let them feel your comfort today. Let them know that you're not ignoring them. You're aligning their life with something greater than they imagined. Waiting doesn't mean you've stopped listening. It means you're perfecting the answer. Lord, help me to walk this path with patience and peace. I may not know how long this road will be, but I know where it leads, straight to you. There are moments when I look at my life and realize that things didn't turn out the way I imagined. The doors I prayed would open stayed shut, and the paths I thought were straight took unexpected turns. Sometimes that realization hurts, because I had dreams that looked good, plans that made sense, and timelines that felt right. But you remind me gently that your plan is not meant to match mine. It's meant to be better, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29:11. Your plans, Lord, are built on eternal wisdom, not temporary emotion. You see the whole picture, while I only see a fragment. And even when it feels like I've lost something precious, you are often making room for something greater. What feels like disappointment is sometimes divine redirection. You close doors not to punish me, but to protect me. You rearrange what I thought I needed because you know what would truly satisfy my soul. Still, it's not easy to surrender what I wanted. There are moments when I struggle to release the plans I made, when I hold on tightly to what I thought would bring joy. But you whisper, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9. It's in that surrender that I find peace. It's when I finally stop resisting and let go that I begin to see the beauty in what you're doing. Sometimes I imagine Joseph again, betrayed by his brothers, sold as a slave, and imprisoned for doing what was right. None of that made sense in the moment, but every setback was secretly a setup for the future you had written for him. What others meant for harm, you turned for good. And I believe you're doing the same in my story. The detours, the rejections, the sudden changes, they're not random. They're divine ingredients for a purpose that's still unfolding. When I face something unexpected, remind me that you are still in control. You are not improvising my life. You are orchestrating it. Every twist and turn has meaning, even when it doesn't match my expectations. You know the seasons I need, the lessons I must learn, and the blessings that are still being prepared. I can trust you even when I don't understand you, because your character never changes. Help me to release my grip on the life I imagined, so I can receive the life you're building. Help me to find gratitude even in detours. Let me not waste time asking, why didn't this happen? But instead ask, what are you teaching me here? Shift my heart from frustration to faith, from resistance to rest. You remind me through Proverbs 16:9 that in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. I make my plans, but you guide my direction. And even when the path feels different, I believe that every step under your guidance will lead to something beautiful in time. So today, I choose trust over understanding. I choose surrender over control. I choose to believe that every no is leading me toward a better yes, because your plan, Lord, may look different, but it will always be good. And for those who are struggling with disappointment right now, wrap them in your peace. Let them see that your detours are not delays. They're divine redirections leading to destiny. Has there ever been a moment when God's plan turned out better than what you had envisioned for yourself? Share your story below. It might renew someone's trust in His perfect will. Lord, there are days when I look around and it seems like everyone else is moving forward while I'm standing still. Others receive blessings, answers, and opportunities, while I remain in waiting. In those quiet moments, I can't help but ask, have you forgotten me? But even as that thought crosses my mind, you gently remind me, can a mother forget the baby at her breast and have no compassion on the child she has born? Though she may forget, I will not forget you. Isaiah 49:15. You never forget, you never overlook, you never abandon. Still, my heart sometimes aches with loneliness. The silence can feel like distance. I pray and hear nothing. I hope and see nothing. I look for signs and find none. But deep inside, I know you are not gone. You are working quietly, weaving together the unseen threads of my story. You are not absent. You are intentional. The same God who holds galaxies in His hand holds my name on His heart. Help me, Father, to remember that feeling forgotten is not the same as being forgotten. My emotions are fragile, but your faithfulness is firm. You were with Joseph in the prison cell, with Ruth in the fields, with David in the caves, and with Daniel in the lion's den. You were there even when it looked like nothing was happening. You were working in silence, setting the stage for something miraculous. So if I can't see you right now, it doesn't mean you've disappeared. It means you're preparing something that's not ready yet. There are times when I pray, God, where are you? But if I listen carefully, I realize you're asking, do you trust me? You want me to believe that your presence isn't measured by how I feel, but by what you've promised. And you've promised, never will I leave you. Never will I forsake you. Hebrews 13:5. That promise is my anchor. Even when my heart doubts, your word stands unshaken. When I feel overlooked, remind me that you never lose sight of your children. The same God who noticed Hagar in the wilderness, who heard Hannah's quiet prayer, who saw the widow's last 2 coins, sees me. You don't measure worth by position, status, or success. You see the tears no one else sees. You count the nights when I cry quietly and still choose to believe. Help me to see that what feels like divine silence may actually be divine strategy. You hide me in certain seasons, not because I'm forgotten, but because you're preparing me to be revealed at the right time. Some blessings require waiting. Some promises need maturity. Some seasons demand quiet so that your glory can shine brighter when the time comes. I want to thank you even when I don't understand. Thank you for loving me in the unseen spaces, for remembering me when I feel invisible, and for writing my story even when the pages look blank. Teach me to rest in the truth that being hidden is not being forsaken. It's being protected, refined, and prepared. And to those who are reading this and feel unseen, remind them, Lord, that they are deeply known and fiercely loved. You have not forgotten them. You are closer than they realize. The silence is not the end. It's the space where faith grows stronger. Father, there are nights when fear creeps in quietly, not as a loud roar, but as a whisper in my thoughts. It tells me I'm not enough, that the future is uncertain, that maybe your promises won't come through this time. It tightens my chest and steals my peace. Yet, in that moment, you remind me of your truth. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. To 2 Timothy 1:7, fear doesn't come from you, peace does. And that's what I choose tonight, to rest in your peace instead of my panic. You know, Lord, how strong fear can feel. It builds stories in my mind, convincing me that I'll fail, that I'll be alone, that I'll never overcome. But every time I look back, I see proof that fear has lied to me again and again. Every time I thought I couldn't make it, you carried me through. Every time I thought a door had closed for good, you opened a better one. Fear speaks loudly, but your faithfulness speaks louder still. Teach me to confront fear not by fighting it alone, but by standing firm in your word. You told Joshua, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." Joshua 1:9. That same promise is mine today. I don't have to feel brave to be brave. I just have to remember you are with me. When fear tells me to run, faith tells me to stand. When fear says, "What if?" faith answers, "Even then." Sometimes fear disguises itself as control, the need to plan everything, fix everything, and predict every outcome. But you gently remind me that true peace doesn't come from control. It comes from surrender. You are not asking me to handle it all. You're asking me to hand it all over. The more I try to manage life by fear, the more I lose sight of the one who already has everything under control. When my heart starts to race with worry, help me to slow down and breathe. Let my breath remind me that I'm alive because you sustain me. Let my heartbeat remind me that you're near. Remind me that courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving forward despite it. The same courage that helped David face Goliath, that led Esther to stand before the king, that gave Paul strength in prison. That same courage lives in me because your spirit lives in me. You've never failed me, Lord, and you never will. Fear tells me the worst-case scenario, but faith reminds me of your best intentions. Fear imagines a future without you. Faith rests in a future built by you. So when worry rises, let your peace drown it out. When doubt tries to take root, let your truth tear it down. Let my soul remember that no matter what happens next, I am safe in the hands of the one who commands the storm and calms the sea. And Lord, I lift up the person reading this who feels paralyzed by fear right now. The one who's afraid of losing what they love, of failing again, of stepping into the unknown. Whisper to them the same words you've whispered to me countless times. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. Isaiah 41:10. Replace their trembling with trust. Replace their anxiety with assurance. Replace their fear with faith. Because in the end, fear may visit, but it doesn't get to stay. Your love always casts it out, and your presence always brings me home to peace. What verse or truth helps you overcome fear when it tries to control your heart? Share it in the comments. Your reminder might be the light someone else needs tonight. Lord, there are moments when I reach a point where I simply don't know what to do next. The road ahead feels foggy, the signs are unclear, and I can't see even one step forward. It's as if I'm standing in the middle of uncertainty, searching for direction but hearing only silence. Yet even then, you whisper in my heart, your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Psalm 119:105. You may not show me the entire road, but you promise to illuminate the next step, and that's enough for today. Sometimes I wish you would reveal everything. The timeline, the outcome, the reasons. But then I realized that if I saw it all, I would stop needing faith. You're not keeping me in the dark. You're keeping me dependent. You know that faith doesn't grow in certainty but in trust. And maybe, just maybe, this season of not knowing is the very place where you're teaching me to walk by faith and not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. You know how hard it is for me to walk without clarity, Lord. My mind wants to plan, predict, and prepare. But your ways are not my ways. Sometimes you lead me step by step because you know that if I saw the whole journey, I might run from it. So you reveal it slowly, in pieces, because you're protecting my heart from carrying more than it can handle right now. When I feel stuck, remind me of Moses standing before the Red Sea. Nowhere to go, enemies behind, deep waters ahead. Yet that impossible moment became the place of your greatest miracle. The sea opened not before the fear, but after the faith, and I believe you can still part seas today. Seas of confusion, seas of worry, seas of impossibility. What seems blocked to me is never blocked to you. Father, I surrender my need to know every detail. I don't need the whole map, just your presence beside me. I may not know the destination, but I know the guide. And that's enough. You have never failed to lead me where I need to be. You have never lost me along the way. Every path you've chosen, even the painful ones, has brought me closer to your heart. Help me to walk in daily trust. Let my prayers be less about show me everything and more about stay with me in everything. I want to walk in step with you, not ahead, not behind, but right beside you. When I can't see the next move, I'll keep moving forward in obedience. When I can't hear your voice, I'll hold on to what you last said. And when I feel like I'm walking blind, I'll remember that you see everything. And that's enough for both of us. I know you specialize in creating paths where none exist. You make rivers flow in deserts, doors open in walls, and light shine in darkness. What I call impossible is simply your invitation to trust deeper. So even here, in this unclear season, I will lift my eyes and choose to believe that you're still guiding, still providing, still leading me home. And for the one reading this who feels lost, who doesn't know what to do or where to go, let them feel your hand on their shoulder right now. Remind them that confusion is not abandonment. You are still near. You are still in control. You are still making a way, even if they can't see it yet. I've spent so much of my life trying to hold everything together, trying to manage outcomes, plan every detail, and fix every problem before it even happens. Somewhere deep inside, I believed that control meant safety. But the more I tried to take control, the more anxious and weary I became. Because no matter how much I plan, life keeps reminding me that I'm not in charge. You are. And that's not a punishment. It's freedom. Be still and know that I am God. Psalm 46:10. Those words don't ask me to do more, but to let go. You never asked me to be the one who holds it all together. That's your job. My role is to trust you, even when I don't understand what you're doing. When I surrender, I stop wrestling with what's out of my control and start resting in the one who has never failed. You don't need my worry to make things work. You only ask for my willingness to trust. It's not easy, Lord. Letting go feels like stepping into uncertainty with my hands open, not knowing what will fall or what will remain. But every time I surrender, peace returns. Every time I release my grip, I realize that you were holding me all along. When I finally stop striving, I begin to feel your strength carrying me instead of my own. You showed me what surrender looks like through Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. As he faced the cross, he said, "Not my will, but yours be done." Luke 22:42. That wasn't weakness, it was divine strength. It was the moment that changed all of history. Surrender wasn't losing control. It was trusting the one who always knows best. And you're teaching me that my surrender carries the same power. It becomes the place where your will takes over, where my life aligns with your purpose. There are so many moments, Lord, when I want to hold on to relationships, to plans, to the illusion of certainty. But I'm learning that what's truly mine will never slip away if you've called it to stay. And what you ask me to release will never leave a void you cannot fill. You never take without giving back something greater, even if I can't see it yet. When I try to take control again, remind me of the peace I felt the last time I let go. Remind me that control doesn't guarantee comfort, but trust guarantees presence. I may not be able to predict what tomorrow holds, but I can rest knowing that you're already there, working, preparing, loving. You see every detail I worry about and every outcome I can't control. Nothing is hidden from you. I don't want to spend my life trying to play the role that only you can fill. I want to walk in surrender, not the kind that gives up, but the kind that gives in to your perfect will. Let me exchange my fear for faith, my striving for stillness, my control for confidence in you. Teach me to say every day, I trust you more than I trust myself. And if someone reading this feels overwhelmed by the weight of trying to hold it all together, remind them, Lord, that surrender isn't weakness. It's the doorway to peace. It's the moment they stop carrying everything alone and start walking hand in hand with you, the one who never fails, never forgets, and never loses control. Father, as I come to the end of this prayer, I finally see what you've been teaching me all along, that the answers I've been searching for were never lost, only waiting for the right moment to unfold. You were never silent. You were working quietly behind the scenes, preparing blessings that needed time to mature. What once felt like delay was actually design. What felt like confusion was direction. And what felt like silence was a sacred invitation to trust you deeper than before. You remind me through Habakkuk 2:3 that the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it lingers, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay. Those words are more than comfort. They are a promise. Every prayer, every tear, every moment of surrender has been heard and held by you. You don't forget what your children bring before you in faith. You never waste a single moment of waiting. Now I understand, Lord, that your timing is not a denial but a declaration. That when you say not yet, it's because you're aligning hearts, people, and circumstances in ways I could never comprehend. You're not just answering prayers. You're orchestrating destinies. And when the answers finally arrive, they will fit so perfectly that I'll look back and say, only God could have done this. You've shown me that the purpose of prayer isn't just to get what I want, but to become who you want me to be. The waiting taught me patience. The silence taught me faith. The confusion taught me surrender. And the endurance taught me love. Through every unanswered question, you've been shaping me, molding me into someone who trusts your hand even when I can't trace it. Lord, I don't want to rush ahead of you anymore. I don't want to chase quick answers when what I truly need is a deeper relationship with you. I want to rest in the peace of knowing that you are already in tomorrow, arranging everything I'll need. The answers will come, not when I demand them, but when I'm ready to receive them with gratitude instead of anxiety. And when those answers come, whether they look like what I expected or not, let me remember to give you glory. Let me not forget the nights I prayed, the days I waited, and the grace that carried me through. Let my answered prayers become testimonies of your goodness, not trophies of my endurance. For the one who's still waiting, Lord, remind them today that you haven't forgotten. The waiting doesn't mean abandonment, it means preparation. What they're praying for might not be ready yet, or maybe they're not ready yet, but when the time comes, it will all make sense. You are never late, never early, always exact. You are the God of perfect timing, the author of peace, the keeper of promises, and the giver of hope. And so I rest in you today, not because I have all the answers, but because I finally understand that I don't need them to trust you. Thank you, Lord, for being faithful in the waiting, kind in the silence, patient in my weakness, and constant in your love. The answers will come, but even before they do, you are enough. If you're waiting for something today, hold this truth close. God is never late. What's meant for you will arrive in His perfect time. Have you seen this truth unfold in your life before? Share it in the comments. Your testimony might bring hope to someone still waiting for their miracle.